months of speculation, talks of a potential meeting between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin is back on the table. But what does each side stand to gain? And what's truly at stake for Ukraine, NATO, and the future of the war? President Trump believes that face-to-face diplomacy, the so-called force of personality, could break 6 months of deadlock with Moscow. He's still clinging to the idea that Putin can be persuaded to end the war, despite the Russian leader doubling down on a maximalist vision that wherever Russian soldiers stand is, in fact, Russia. For President Putin, the summit is a chance to buy time. After rejecting a US-European ceasefire deal in May and offering only token pauses, Russia is advancing fast on the battlefield. With towns like Pokrovsk and Kupiansk under threat, Putin may hope to shift the war's balance before winter freezes the front lines, both literally and politically. Washington's quiet goal? A three-way summit with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, the same format Russia rejected in Istanbul. But Moscow could use the meeting to recast the narrative, bringing Trump closer to its version of events and isolating Kyiv diplomatically. So, what could actually happen if this long-teased summit becomes reality? Experts point to 5 potential outcomes. 1. An unconditional ceasefire. It's highly unlikely. Russia already rejected such a proposal in May, despite threats of sanctions. Even Trump pivoted away from pressure tactics, favoring informal Istanbul talks that went nowhere. And a prior 30-day ceasefire saw only limited success. 2. A frozen front. Talks may simply result in more talks. Putin could lock in territorial gains by October, just in time for winter. Cities like Pokrovsk, Kostiantynivka and Kupiansk may fall, with the Kremlin hoping to regroup and refight in 2026. Russia could also use Ukraine's delayed elections to undermine President Zelensky politically. 3. Ukraine weathers the storm. Western aid could hold the line. While the Russian advance may continue, it could slow, as it has before. European powers are already planning a reassurance force of NATO troops around major Ukrainian cities, creating a buffer and deterrent to further Russian aggression. 4. A disaster for Ukraine. A summit that warms US-Russia relations could leave Kyiv stranded. Without strong American backing, Europe might not be enough. Ukrainian forces could face collapse, and domestic political pressure could grow as Zelensky faces a military manpower crisis. 5. A Soviet-style disaster for Russia. Prolonged fighting could cost Putin dearly in soldiers, money, and international standing. Sanctions could erode Russia's economic base. Allies like China and India may turn cold. And dissent inside the Kremlin may grow as the war grinds on with no end and no gains. As the possibility of a Trump-Putin summit looms once again, the stakes could not be higher. For Ukraine, it may define whether diplomacy brings peace or paves the way for further war. For the West, it's a test of unity. And for both Trump and Putin, it's about legacy and leverage.